It's been so long. We're back. Welcome to the Town Breakdown. I am your host, Town Raider. I still exist. I'm still alive. I know some of you might have thought maybe I wasn't. But I'm joined by my guys, Raider Ed of Raiders Primos, and my guy, Big Mike Raider. How we doing, boys?
Good, man. Great to see you. Good to see you too. Raider Ed, man, it's been a minute, bro. Man, how you doing?
Oh, man, doing great. I was thinking about dropping a video today, but Town hit me up. I was like, oh, bro, let's all talk about it. It's good to talk about the situation with Maxx Crosby with all of Raider Nation.
Yes, sir, man. Yeah. He had me worried. I was playing it off on X and everything like that. Like, man, this is bogus, and Maxx ain't requesting no trade. And still, I guess technically, we're right. He hasn't requested a trade. He's not said he'll request a trade, but he did go out on a limb and say anything and everything is on the table if we don't bring back AP. Mm-hmm. So, what's your thought? What are you guys' thoughts on that? And how did you interpret what Maxx said on his podcast, The Rush?
Man, you know what? I can't be too upset about what he said, man. Like, everybody was like, well, there's a side of people that are like, oh yeah, it's the Raiders first anyway. Nobody's bigger than the Shield. Like, I don't give a damn, bro. Like, Maxx Crosby, I'm not saying he's bigger than the Shield, but bro, he's the best player that we've had since Khalil Mack.
Especially homegrown.
Yeah, homegrown. And we can't let this dude walk. We just can't. Like, what are we gonna do, for the pride of, oh, nothing's bigger than the Shield? No other team says it's nonsense, bro. Like, no other team says that. They value their players. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and we need to value our players. Maybe that's the reason why we're in the situation we're in. So, I think that Maxx Crosby standing on business with this, and I'm glad he's doing it, man, because we need some changes.
That's for sure. Raider Ed, what do you think?
I loved it. I've seen all the hate for Maxx Crosby saying, "Oh, he can kick rock." It's funny seeing how quick people switch up on their players. And I agree with you, Big Mike. No one's above the Shield, and that's not what we're saying that Maxx Crosby is above the Shield, but he is the leader. And we said it once Derek Carr's departure. This is Maxx Crosby's team now. Like, this is his team. That he is the leader of the entire the locker room, and him and Devontae have been very vocal who they want back, but he said one key thing, and I want Raider Nation to keep this energy that we kept with our former quarterback. Oh, he had too many coaches in his 9 years. He has so much change. Maxx Crosby doesn't want to go through that. Maxx Crosby wants stability. Maxx Crosby doesn't want to go through coaching change after coaching change after coaching change. And I want to say this, who we as fans, and I know sometimes we can get a little bit emotional, who are we to say what goes on in that locker room? There is a reason that locker room is bought into AP. And we don't know why, but we know that on the field, they played for that man. They played their hearts out. That defense was flying around, and I would rather bring the band back together than – I think Maxx Crosby has that fear that we all have. They're going to tear this down if you bring somebody else in. Like, what we got going on here, like, that's going to get just tore down if someone else comes in here. So bring the band back together and let's run this shit back in 2024.
Okay. I kind of looked at it like this. Yes, Maxx is the leader of the team, but is this the way to go about exercising your voice and your leadership? Because we all love Maxx. Yeah. Maxx, it would tear every single Raider fan's heart out if Maxx were to ever go anywhere else. But at what point does Mark Davis got to be like, well, this is my team. You're not going to tell me how to run my franchise. You're not going to pin me in a corner and make me choose based off that. Because the word is Mark Davis it's already pretty much been done that he's going with AP, but he can't do it yet. There's certain rules that prevent you from making decisions now. Yeah. And so while I know what Maxx was doing and I know the team is behind him, and in a sense, I agree with him as well. I mean, if you're scared of this team going through another full rebuild, like a bunch of us are, it's terrifying to think about it, considering how many times we've already done it. now we find a little bit of success with Antonio Pierce, and is the team and the fan base clinging to a small shred of success once again? Are we so unused to success that when we get the smallest taste, we just cling to it? Or is this really the real deal? Is this, if we go with AP, is this going to be a success? Because I would say that while we see that this could be going in the right direction, AP could be the biggest hit or miss prospect available. Yep. There is, I would say, he has the largest chance of busting in this situation. Maybe everybody don't feel that way, but there's so little we still know. So there's that to go on, and then there's the fact that what if we pass on the right guy?
Hey, Kane Town, I got a question for you, man, and it's a serious question. Same for you, Raider Ed, bro. Like I gotta really ask this question, and it begs to be asked. What would break you as a Raider fan to where you're like, I can't support this team anymore? I'm not saying that like, oh, I'm gonna go bounce to another team. I'm saying like, I can't watch this team anymore because of this thing happening. What will be that thing to kind of just break you guys from being like, I'm done.
I can't even think of it, man. And the thing is that I know they're gonna probably give us all those heartaches, all those like, man. I say it best. It's tough to be a Raider fan. That if you are a Raider fan, that day when the Raiders do win the Super Bowl and they get back to their glory days, like we can be, who was the real fans that dealt with those losses through those hard times. You're gonna see the real fans come out. And I told my dad, y'all can record me. I'm gonna be crying like a little baby when we win the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah,
like, no I don't care, because there's nothing like I love the Raiders, man, and there's nothing that can have me stop watching them. Like, am I gonna be pissed off like if nothing's going right? Yeah, but I'm gonna come back next morning like, what they talking about the Raiders? Raiders news, Raiders this. Can I get a Raider shirt? It was funny. My girlfriend the other day is like, you got too much Raider stuff in your closet.
We all do. You got just enough, bro.
I was like, that's just the beginning. That's just the beginning. We gotta add more onto it. Like, wait till I go to Vegas and go to Raider image. But to answer that question, Big Mike, nothing, bro. Nothing. Like, even if they trade Maxx, I can't see myself like, okay, like, I mean, if it's gonna piss me off, of course. Like, that's one of my favorite players right now. And that, like I said, he leads by example, and I think he leads the fan base too. And it's like him leaving or him getting traded, like it would be a dagger. It'd be kind of like the Khalil Mack trade, just a dagger in the heart. But I can't see myself. I can't see myself leaving.
The reason why I asked that, man, is there's a lot of people who really feel that way, that if they do get rid of Maxx Crosby, the way off chance that actually happens, people are going to jump ship. Now, you could easily be like, oh, well, you're not part of the shield. You're not going to support when we're bad and this and that. It's been 20 years, guys. Yeah. It's been 20 years.
I said, I don't blame him, Big Mike.
I don't blame if anybody was like, hey, I've had enough. Especially because we keep getting to this point where we're like almost in a cycle where we hire a coach, get to a certain level, he gets fired, rebuild, get to a certain level, fire a coach, and it's a never-ending cycle. And we saw it since 2018 where Khalil Mack gets booted, and then say the same thing happens, that's going to be hard to sell to a really rabid fan base, a thirsty fan base to win football games, that wants to win football games for 20 years. Hey, he's gone. And we're going to go with another coach. You know what I mean? Like that's tough. That's a hypothetical situation. At the end of the day, we all know that AP is getting his job. It's pretty. I think that he's going to get this job. I think it's pretty set in stone. I think Champ Kelly is going to be coming along as well. I think that's like already said and done. But Raiders fans, we don't deserve a rebuild all over again. Maxx Crosby doesn't deserve a fifth head coach in 5 years. Like, we really got to fix this thing. And I really can't blame Maxx Crosby or anybody that calls himself a fan of the Raiders to want to jump ship if things go rebuild again. I'm not gonna lie to you, man.
Yeah, me either.
I hear you guys. Before I give my take on that part of the conversation, we're gonna pay some love to the chat real quick. We got some people in our chat here that need to be heard. So Van City says there's no such thing as too much Raider gear. I'm in full agreement with that.
That's a fact.
We got Big Heck out here says, "What up, fellas? Hope everybody's for life. Hey, we're doing all good over here, bro. Hope all is good for you and your family going right now." My guy, the Stoic Raider. If they bring back Gruden, I will only hate watch. I think we would all be in that boat. This man, though, the Stoic Raider, has a significant, deep hatred for John Gruden. He is the one guy that before we hired Gruden was like, this whole thing is a farce. It's a joke. Gruden is a cartoon character. And a lot of the times he's proven to be right on a lot of his stuff. If you don't follow him on X or anything like that, you guys need to go do it. One of the most knowledgeable football fans that I know. Joe Ramos, no one is above the shield. Well, neither are the fans trying to turn on Maxx. Some dogs don't understand the Mamba mentality that Maxx got. That's a great point. While maybe I would have had Max, if I had my way, maybe have Maxx go about it a different way. If you're a fan and you're throwing any negativity towards Maxx, you get the hell out of here. That man's give everything to the shield. So he has a right to voice his opinion.
This man could have died playing a football game. Let's remind people of that.
Yeah.
Like,
didn't he say he blew out his knee in like against the Patriots game? That's when his knee went out.
Yeah, and then
go for it.
Go ahead.
I don't know if that was the game.
It was on because he said on the podcast that his knee blew out earlier against the Patriots. So he was dealing with that knee injury. It was reported in Kansas City's week, our home game, which is like week 12. He had that injury in like week 6. And he played the entire year. So it's like you can't how can you hate on effort like that? He's giving it all to us. He wants that reciprocated back from the front office and from Mark Davis.
Right.
Big Heck again. So everybody hit that like button. Y'all support the nation, my boys. We appreciate you, my guy. That's right, everybody. Hit the like button, smash the thumb, subscribe, share, do all that. We're all three of us here continuing to try to grow and continue to bring you the best content we can.
Yes, sir.
And then I got Anthony Provincio says, whoop. That's not the one I was going for. Hey. Hire AP and Champ Kelly, trade for Justin Fields, hire Arthur Smith as OC. What do you guys think about that?
I'd be all right with it. I wouldn't hate it. I absolutely wouldn't hate it. I mean, Arthur Smith, the thing about Arthur Smith is like,
I was like,
he doesn't have that coaching resume that I'm looking for in an OC. He almost was like kind of hoisted up to the head coaching spot with the Falcons. And I think that he should have just, I don't know. I didn't see him taking those proper steps in the first place to even be put as a head coach in the first place. Arthur Smith would be cool with the Justin Fields, but I like a young, like I said, man, I've been saying this over and over. I want like one of those offensive coordinators from the college level to come in and bring some of that college flavor, some of that speed, spread it out, RPO type of stuff. I want some of that stuff, man. We haven't had that with the Raiders ever. So I want to see it.
Unless he goes over to Bama with his head coach, that OC from UW might be nice.
That's what I'm saying. Man, that I've been saying, I don't know his name. I just say OC from Washington. That's the guy that I want, man, from the Huskies. So
yeah. And to Raider Egg, let's hear what you got to say about this one.
Yeah, I agree with Big Mike. I mean, I'm all for trading Justin Fields and hiring AP and Champ Kelly. Arthur Smith as an offensive coordinator, I think we kind of seen with the Falcons. That offense was, I mean, it was terrible talent-wise, but he still had a top running back, and I don't know why they never even used him. So who's to say Arthur Smith's come here and we don't see JJ at all? Like if JJ comes back.
That's what's scary about Arthur Smith is you had Bijan, Kyle Pitts, Drake London, and none of them got the usage that they should have got. I don't want to see that happen.
Yeah. And I think Keyshawn Johnson on Undisputed said it best. John Harbaugh went out and turned Lamar Jackson into an MVP this season. How did he do it? He went to the college level and got a passing game coordinator and brought him up to the next level. And look, Lamar Jackson is possibly looking to be the MVP this season. So I agree. Let's go get a fresh young mind that can, I said it, get AP, a great offensive coordinator that can call plays in today's NFL, not the NFL that was 20, 15, 10 years ago, the NFL that is now with mobile quarterbacks, RPOs, more not vanilla offense, but more creativity. I'm tired of seeing trick plays that we seen 20 years ago. Like, let's see. Yeah, like a flea flicker. Hey, can we really call it a trick play if it was used 20 years ago? Like,
right.
Like, yeah. I mean, but yeah, that's my take on it. Let's get young OC at the helm.
Sure. Another thing about the Stoic Raider, this guy is the biggest UW fan I know, so of course he knows the name. He said Grubb's going to Bama, so our dreams just got squashed on that. So
that's the premier. That's the premier spot, and in all college football. I get it. So let's look elsewhere, or I don't know, man. I want some college flavor on the team, man.
Yeah, our guy Sean Johnson says, salute you guys. Ed Dodds for president of football operations, GM Champ Kelly, head coach Antonio Pierce, Clint Kubiak at OC, and then our guy Patrick Graham at DC. I am not very up to date on Clint Kubiak. If you guys could give me some info.
I thought I saw something in the news that he got hired as an OC somewhere recently, or he was being interviewed. I could be completely wrong on that one. To be honest with you, man, yeah, Clint Kubiak name sound familiar, but I'm not really too hip on his resume either. So, but yeah, I would like that. I mean, just because I've heard the name a bunch of times, I'm gonna actually look him up right now, man.
And then Stoic Raider wants us to pontificate on the idea of Cliff Kingsbury. I would not be against it. He's not my first option, but I wouldn't be mad.
You gotta get him a quarterback that's like a Caleb Williams or even like a Kyler Murray, because it seems the offense moves better with the mobile quarterback for him. Yeah. So
Fields.
going with you would be, if you get a Cliff Kingsbury as an OC, you can't go with AOC in 2024. You got to go trade for Justin Fields or go get the quarterback of the future, because Aiden will not fit his offensive scheme at all.
Okay. Anthony Provencio says no on Kubiak. And Raider says that he's interviewing for the Bears OC job.
Yeah, he just got interviewed from the Bears. He was the 49ers passing game coordinator. Okay. Yeah, he has a good resume, man. I wouldn't see why not, man. Anthony Provencio, if you have a reason why no on Kubiak, man, let us know, bro, because I gotta know. I gotta know why not.
Especially with the ascension of Brock Purdy lately, it sounds like that guy is looking pretty nice right now.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, and I wouldn't mind it, because the thing is that the 49ers passing game is literally pitch and catch, and meaning get the ball into your superstars' hands and let them do the rest. I've been saying that's kind of our type of offense. Get the ball into Devontae Adams' hands. He's more dangerous in yak yards, runs after catch. And same with Jacoby Myers, same with Hunter Renfrow, Michael Mayer. Get those guys in space and let them do the rest. Don't let the quarterback have to overthink it.
I wanted to go and touch back before I jumped into the chat. We were talking about what it would take for you to essentially just be over it with the Raiders.
Yeah.
For me, there's nothing. I will always support this team. I mean, we look at the last 2 decades we lived through. If that didn't do it for you, I don't think no.
Yeah.
And we talked about, you guys said you wouldn't blame anybody for bouncing out. I agree and disagree. I believe if you are going to stop following the Raiders and you're done with the Raiders, you better be done with football. Because if I see you repping another team, I am going to
I agree.
You.
Yeah.
I agree 100% with that one. Like, okay, if you're like, I'm done with football in general, I respect it.
Cool.
I respect it.
Because then if you come back, you just come back straight to the Raiders.
Yeah. You're taking a hiatus from the Raiders, period. Not like, I'm going to become a Cardinals fan now,
Yeah, no.
Yeah. I was like, that's what the off season's for, bro. Take a break. There you go.
Yeah.
Take a break from football.
Oh, this is one I haven't. This is actually one I haven't heard. Anthony Prevention, would you bring in Joe Flacco? Before yesterday, I would have thought about it. Today, nah.
I still would.
96 years old.
I still would. I'm tired of the Raiders putting a Band-Aid on a situation instead of addressing it. Because
it seems like that's just the fix every year, and we always think that it's a bridge quarterback leading to a young superstar. All we do is bridge. There's no young superstar.
Yeah. I mean, we avoided the thing is people say, well, we suck at first-round picks and we suck at drafting quarterbacks. We only drafted 4 first-round quarterbacks since this franchise was made. So that just goes to show for me, I'm not saying we never drafted quarterbacks. It's just we never went it. The last time we went for that top quarterback, people got Raider PTSD. I love Graf saying that because that's real. We got Raider PTSD. Getting, Jamarcus Russell and how that shit show went. I get it. People are scared, but this is by far one of the best quarterback classes I have ever seen personally.
If you miss and you don't get a top 4 quarterback out of this draft or Justin Fields, you fucking failed.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we end up with AOC starting next year and he didn't have to beat somebody out to get it and look fabulous in the preseason, you failed. There's no reason that Caleb Williams, Drake May, Michael Penix, Jaden Daniels, or Justin Fields shouldn't be on our roster next year.
Yep, I agree. Hey, I got a quick question though.
Yes, sir.
We're sitting at 13. We're probably gonna have to move up considering who's in front of us. Vikings need a quarterback. Broncos need a quarterback. Those are teams that are sitting in front of us on top of the other ones that are way ahead of us that are going to be getting those top quarterbacks. Where do you think we need to move up to get the guy we want, like a Jaden Daniels? Is Michael Penix is he going to be at 13? Is that the guy we even want? Like it's a lot of things that
I say you got to jump into that 4 to 7 range to get one of them. Unless you're dead set on May or Williams, then you're going to go to number 1. You're going to have to mortgage the future. You're going to have to go and throw everything at them to get that number 1 pick, number 2 at the latest. If you're like, I'll take either one, go to number 2. If you're like, I know who I want and I want him and this is our guy, you got to go get that number 1 pick, and you're going to have to send a king's ransom for that pick.
Yeah, no doubt.
Stoic Raider says Penix is falling, and I'm the Husky homer. I am so happy that Penix went and had that game he had against Michigan. I am so happy because it is our only shot to not move up.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Okay,
I'm so his draft stock needed to take a hit.
Okay,
and that game did not sway me to think anything less of him at all. He met an elite defense, and Brady had trouble with elite defenses. Peyton Manning,
I'm absolutely sick of hearing like casuals talk about how bad Penix was playing. Like nobody's mentioning how bad his offensive line played in that game.
Absolutely.
The offensive line was horrid. Now, okay, you could say that Michigan defense, that's one of the best defenses in the country right now. Like I'll give Michigan their what they deserve. But bro, like they're getting on Penix like he didn't like he's like a scrub now. All of a sudden he can't run the ball, like he can't throw the ball.
Yeah. Let him fall right in our lap, please.
Yeah. Go ahead, man. I'm all right with it, man.
We'll be laughing when he's throwing 70-yard dimes to Devontae next year.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, I would love that.
Our brother at the Swagger and Boisterously podcast, the Severe Raider.
Yes, sir.
He said we would have to target the Cardinals pick to get Daniels or May to guarantee it. Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. It's going to be a big jump. You're most likely talking two or 3 firsts and 2 seconds and maybe another third or something like that. You are giving up a lot, but if you go out and you find the next Pat Mahomes or something, it is so worth it. That's the one thing we wouldn't have to worry about for the next 15 years. We would have that no matter how our team goes. If we stumble and go 7 wins or 6 wins for a season, and that guy's still balling, and we know, hey, we just need to build around this guy. We don't have to go out and mortgage the farm for another quarterback. And you go out and get the guy, and you're set to be winning for the next decade.
Yeah, I mean, I said that with CJ Stroud. I mean, imagine you Ziegler makes that trade, bro. We wouldn't even be having this conversation this season. Like,
I flashed
and it hurt. I'm so glad McDaniels isn't here no more. Like, I'm so glad because
I know it hurts severe Raiders feelings, but
all of us, everyone who I knew that did Raiders podcast was like, CJ Stroud is the guy to go get. Like, that is the guy to go get.
But Severe loves Josh McDaniels. That's his best friend. So let's not talk.
Like, I don't know why we gave up on him so quickly.
Shout out to Severe. I want to give context because he said to the Cardinals pick, we would be moving from 13 to 4 to give more context on that. So and I agree with you, Kane. Like, the Chiefs traded, I think, 2 or 1 first or 2 firsts along with that year in 2017 to get Pat Mahomes, traded up 17 picks. I mean, 2 Super Bowls later, 2 Super Bowl MVPs. I don't think they got no complaints. I take that any day if that's what it takes to go get a Super Bowl.
Right. Absolutely. And this is the only knock that Penix really has. His really real knock is the 2 ACL tears, both in high school. Go ahead, take that, Big Mike.
Okay. So if anybody saw him play in college, even before Washington, when he was at the University of Indiana, he was a running quarterback. He was taking off. He tore his ACL. He came back to Washington. In 2 years, he threw for almost 10,000 yards, man. JMD's in my book club. Swaggering literacy. Mother, man, damn. But, like, you could argue and say that Penix was a better quarterback, a guy who sits in the pocket and can spin the ball because of those ACLs. He was forced to be like, okay, I need to be sitting more in the pocket, being more cautious about the knee. And when it's time to take off, I'll take off. You seen in the Texas game, he did the same thing. He took off, but he's a better quarterback, sits in the pocket and sling the rock. So that's why I say he's a better quarterback after the ACL injuries. Who knows if he didn't suffer that ACL injury in college, would he still be the quarterback we see today? That's something that I'm considering.
It's a very good point.
I like that point.
Anthony also says I'd rather have Justin Fields over Penix. And he also went on to say in the comments that they're the same age right now. So I ask you guys, who would you rather have right now?
I'd rather have Justin Fields.
Okay.
I'd rather have Justin Fields. Mainly because he'll be on a 2-year contract once you trade him, and basically it's a 2-year rookie contract on that. So I would rather take Fields, but it's like I'm 50-50 split, I'll be honest, because you're trading for him, but then it's like if he doesn't work out, then you still got to go back to the drawing board and look into the draft. So why not go get Michael Penix, and that way you got 4 to 5 years to see his development, instead of Justin Fields to be like, okay, is this going to work for 2 years? And if it doesn't, then we kind of just shit the bed here. Because I'm looking at it as you need a plan B in case your quarterback situation, whether that's an Aiden O'Connell, that's a rookie quarterback, or even a Justin Fields, if it doesn't go the way it needs to go, what is your plan B? Because that is what we seen last year, and look at where it's got us. When there's no plan B, like shit starts falling everywhere.
So I will say this, man. I will say this. It depends on who our OC is. If I had to pick Fields or Penix. Now, if we get a guy that like a college guy that's coming out and he could do the same things that we're seeing in Baltimore with the Lamar Jackson, then I'm going with Fields, because Fields has the same ability as a Lamar Jackson. I mean, arguably, like, he probably can sling the rock a little bit better than Lamar Jackson. So if you put him in the right situation with the right pieces, he could be special. That's all I'm saying. And I guess it depends on who our OC is going to be. That's really what it's down to.
I present you with this. What if we decide we're sick of not having a quarterback? I think we've all decided that, but hear me out. We do both. We go, Penix falls in our lap in the first round. We send a couple thirds. We get Fields. We have them and Aiden O'Connell all competing. And I think that assures us that we come out with a legitimate high-end quarterback.
Talk about quarterback competition. That's really what we need. We need quarterback competition.
I think that would be the best way to assure yourself you end up with the right guy. And one of those guys has got to be, you can't all three shit the bed, right? You would you hope that all three would not shit the bed.
Yeah.
Right.
So what do you guys think about that?
I mean, that's better than a Jimmy G, Brian Hoyer, and Aiden O'Connell battling it out.
Anybody's better than that.
A lot less money for it.
Yeah, the
That's
thing
a
is,
fact.
again, back to the point of bridge quarterbacks. I'm tired of letting bridge quarterbacks and come here and competing for the starting job. No, let's go get some young guys. I like that quarterback room: Justin Fields, Michael Penix, and Aiden O'Connell. Let them three battle out. You got three young guys in there trying, because Justin Fields is going to have a chip on his shoulder. He's trying to prove he can be a starter in the league. Michael Penix, first round pick, got to live up, to the expectations. Aiden O'Connell, is your development, are you going to improve off of the year you had prior to that season? You got a quarterback room that all three of them have a chip on the shoulder. All of them are trying to prove something, and iron sharpens iron. So you're going to get the best out of one of those guys.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, watch it be Aiden O'Connell.
For real. I said I'm not giving the rookie hate. I'm just go out there and earn it. And if you earn it,
and I'll say this: that's a high possibility, right? Say we can't make a move at 13 to move up and get our guy, and all the quarterbacks we're looking at, they pass up. They get picked before we can even pick at 13, and then all these Raider fans are like, "No, I don't want Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson he's a Bronco. Yeah, he's not a Raider. Yeah, so we pass him up, right? And then Justin Fields stays with the Bears. So then what? Well, who are we going with then? Then we get Pratt from Tulane in the second, third round, and then we got Pratt and AOC battling in a mediocrity bowl for the number one spot at quarterback. We got to pick a battle here. You know what I mean? So
man, that's what I was going.
Man.
If it comes down to it that you got to sign Russell Wilson, why not? But that's only if you miss out on the rookie core. If
but the problem is you got to pick first, because free agency comes first. Yeah. So you gotta either come with a deal first early, or be like, all right, we're going with a guy in free agency or through a trade. You can't wait and miss.
Draft,
you're gonna miss on everything in that situation. So. Man,
going into the draft, that we're going to trade up, because we talked about we have to trade up. It's very, very likely we have to trade up.
Yeah, absolutely. Now if we get to free agency, are you going out and getting somebody, or are you throwing all your eggs in the draft basket?
You got to try both.
Man, because the thing is that, like Big Mike said, what is the plan? And if it's AP, it comes down to who's that offensive coordinator. I feel like that is the big question mark. If we know who the offense coordinator is, it's okay, now we kind of know what direction we're going. But me personally, no matter who the OC is, I don't want to go free agency. Reason being is because I know most people say we want to go for the proven quarterback out there. Who out there can come in and basically take away that quarterback situation for us? If you bring in a Kirk Cousins, he's 38, 39 years old, I believe. I don't know. He's coming off of a terrible Achilles injury. You're going to have to look at the draft. That's my point. When you bring in a new quarterback in via free agency, unless it's maybe a Gardner Minshew or Jacoby Brissett, but still, who's going to go and beat Patrick Mahomes for you? Aiden O'Connell did it. I'll say that. So I'll give it to him. I'm if we're going to go that route, might as well keep Aiden O'Connell. Instead of spending money where it's really not needed. Yeah. If you're going to go that route.
And also, was that?
I would say that Aiden O'Connell, if we miss in free agency and we can't move up from 13 and get our guy, he kind of does. I wouldn't say deserves another chance to be our starter. It's not a terrible thing. What I hope happens is that we're building the defense even more. So, we're giving him kind of a landing, kind of a safety blanket to make a little bit more mistakes. Because if you're going to have an average quarterback or, slightly below average quarterback, you got to have a top of the line defense. So if that is the case, you better be bringing some dogs on that defense for Maxx Crosby. That's all I'm saying.
And the offensive line too, and the offensive line,
and an O-line.
Again on the free agency free agency draft quarterback dilemma. You see it every year. Who's to say Russell Wilson's going to sign before the draft? Who's to say Kirk Cousins chooses to sign before the draft? A lot of these veterans play it smart, and they want to see how things shake out, what the final product is for the team, see what rosters, who has what, and then make a decision. And then come in, say OTAs, right about OTAs. So who knows? So say worst comes to worst, we don't trade up. Nobody falls on our lap. We grab a young quarterback to pair with Aiden O'Connell, and then there's still a Wilson or a Kirk Cousins sitting there as in case, one of these young guys isn't ready yet, then you got someone you can trot out there. I'm not mad about throwing either one of those two veterans out there and having them throw to our guys. I think both of them will be able to push the ball downfield and have at least average success, at least an average offense. Because we were far from an average offense this season. So that would be a great upgrade. And it would at least get us to be okay going until you get to 2025.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be upset with either one of those guys out there starting while we have a young guy who we got later in the draft or an AOC still sitting and developing.
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys feel about that, but
no, I'm with it. But I say all this to say this. The Raiders need to be very aggressive in free agency and or the draft, because we've seen teams go to the basement and crawl out of the basement in a year's time and make the playoffs. We've seen numerous teams. We've seen so many teams go ahead and hit that basement and come out, and now they got their guy at quarterback. We need to at least get down to that basement level in terms of trading and get the guy of the future. Whether that be a Jaden Daniels or a Michael Penix, we need to make that happen.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Texans went from 3-13-1 to 10-7 in a playoff win in 1 year.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, I'm going to ask Raider Nation, are we tired of seeing that? All 31 other teams are figuring it out. I mean, I know some of them are missing it, some of them are in the basement, but like the Texans, like the Dolphins, even though the Jaguars missed the playoffs, still like getting Trevor Lawrence, and even though they shit the bed big time, I'm tired of seeing all these other teams addressing the quarterback situation the way it needed to be addressed, and that is to be aggressive in the draft and draft your quarterback.
It's like all the teams have been shitty as long as we have. They're starting to figure it out, and we're still kind of like, what do we do?
We're stuck in the middle.
And again, that starts with Mark Davis. Like, I know we could put blame on general managers and head coaches and players. That goes to Mark Davis. And I told Sean this. Shout out to Sean Johnson. I said 2024, no matter if it's AP or Champ or Jim Harbaugh and Ed Dobbs, whoever is the front office, 2024 is on Mark Davis's hands. Like I don't care. Like, it is on Mark Davis's hands. If this is a losing season, Mark Davis, that is on you.
Okay. Agreed.
Severe says if AP and Champ are the duo, I think they make a strong attempt to move it for Daniels, and I think you could be very right. For those who don't know yet, if you've been living under a rock since our last game, Jaden Daniels was in our locker room at the end of the final game, celebrating with the team, and I think if AP has his way, that is the guy going into next year.
I agree.
So now it seems that AP is the guy at head coach, more than likely. But it doesn't seem that Champ Kelly's gotten the same guarantee so far. I think it is a two-horse race between him and Ed Dodds, who interviewed with us on Friday. I think Champ Kelly interviewed with us yesterday. Where do you go? Is there a way to bring both of them in? Do you think that's realistic? And if you had your choice, who are you giving the job to?
I like Ed Dodds. I do like him. But I think that Champ Kelly has shown enough that he can be a GM in this league. And if he doesn't get hired by us, he's going to go to Carolina. That's what's going to end up happening. Now, Champ Kelly did get interviewed yesterday, had supposedly a great interview, spent a little extra time over there, longer than usual. So I'm suspecting that he's going to be our guy. and I'm pretty ecstatic about that. Continuity wins in this league, and that's kind of where I want to go. We're going to see the same kind of philosophy from a Champ Kelly, and we're gonna see this team kind of get built off of that continuity. Now, I will say this: it kind of really confuses me when they say that we're going to hire a GM first, and we'll go head coach from there. The GM will have a say in who's the head coach. So, say we do hire Ed Dodds. Who's to say now? There is word that's saying that okay, he's going to go with. He's not necessarily going with Harbaugh if he is the GM, right? But how I don't understand how you could say that you can really say that. You know what I mean? Like that seems to be his guy, seems to be a connection there. And if he wants to go that route, if he's given the go-ahead to go that route, that's what's probably going to happen. Like, and that's the reason why I would rather go with a Champ Kelly, because it just seems like Champ Kelly and AP are kind of linked at the hip at this point of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree, Big Mike. I would say Champ Kelly. I mean, I'm not gonna like crap on Ed Dobbs. I would love to bring in Ed Dobbs, but the thing that Champ Kelly has done here, I mean, let's look at the Marcus Peters situation and the Jack Jones situation. You know, Marcus Peters half-asses on the field. Ziegler, McDaniels didn't want to pull the plug. AP was like, I'm benching you. Champ Kelly is like, we're releasing you like the next day. So, and then he brings in a Jack Jones. Champ Kelly can bring, I feel like he's going to go really aggressive in free agency. And AP and Champ Kelly, like you said, they have that hip-to-hip connection where AP is going to coach, Champ Kelly is going to go get the players. And I believe Champ Kelly, I mean, he was all for on Ziegler's ear about going to get CJ Stroud. So Kelly knows how to go get some guys that can come in and, hey, he was right about CJ Stroud. So who's to say what else is Champ Kelly right about? I wouldn't be mind keeping him here, but it's mainly Maxx Crosby talked about is stability. Let's give Champ Kelly and AP that shot just to have some stability. And I also have the confidence in them that they can get this job done.
Yeah,
okay.
I agree.
While like the Stoic Raider said, he was saying it's wishful thinking to have both of them. You good?
I was about to say the same thing you just said, bro.
Oh, I think your screen froze up for a minute.
Oh, I'm good. I think I'm good.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, he was saying it's wishful thinking to have both. But if that option exists, is that the ideal? You guys would love to have both, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean the power 100%. Numbers in that situation.
Like,
I think it's highly unlikely.
You got the probably smartest front office in one of the smartest front offices in the NFL with Ed Dobbs and Champ Kelly. Like, you can't pass up that opportunity.
Yeah, and Severe Raider saying like if he doesn't get if we go Dodds and Kelly doesn't get the Carolina job, I mean, and then there's no other jobs available. I mean, we'd be stupid not to go make that happen. I would imagine.
Yeah.
That is two great minds to have running your draft, running your free agency, and supplying you with your roster, I think.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
YouTube. I think free agency, the team will address the offensive and defensive line. I personally like all the quarterback options in the draft. I'm guessing he's talking about all the first round availability. I believe any of them would be successful here in Vegas. And to be honest, for the most part, I would tend to agree. I think most of these guys are solid options to bring in. I wouldn't go with a Bo Nix or anything like that. But I mean, those top four guys, any one of them, I'm not mad. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
I mean, I agree. And I just can't wait for the offseason to get here, man. Like, let's get the Pro Bowl here so we can know who our coach is.
I honestly don't care about the Super Bowl at this point, man. Just
I don't
stimulate season and let's move to the offseason. You know what I mean?
Like, hey, can we just like get the mark already?
Man, say what?
As long as KC don't win it, I don't give.
Oh yeah. As long as KC
anybody else,
anybody
else, I'll go with the field. So I assure you during Dobbs' interview they discussed. Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think like we said from the jump, it's been decided AP is going to be the guy, and I think any GM that would come in aside from Champ Kelly would have to kind of agree and be on board with that. I think the pressure from the players and the fans at this point, I don't think Mark has another option. As much as it would suck to be cornered and told what you're going to do with your team, I don't think that Mark can afford to upset the fan base and the players to that extent right now.
Yeah. I mean, after what D'Amico Ryans did too, because that's another former linebacker coach, defensive minded, and didn't have head coach experience, and look what he did.
Yeah,
like I said, just give AP an offense. Like let's be honest, because we had an offense last season, we'd probably be in the playoffs right now. That's really what held us back. And
then New England goes out and brings it and hires Gerard Mayo, another team going with that same formula. So I don't see a reason not to bring in AP at this point. I think Harbaugh is more likely to land in LA. And if he wants to go to that franchise of mediocrity, I welcome him to do so.
Yes, sir.
YouTube says, do you guys have any favorite defensive players in this draft class? Oh, yes, sir. I do. If we go out and get Fields per se, and Jerzon Newton is on the board, I am sprinting to the podium. That selection.
Yeah. Didn't even use the 10 minutes. It's like, oh, we're on the clock. Here you go.
Yeah, we saw who the previous team made. So now we're making a call right now. That's exactly who I'm going with too, man.
Yeah,
exactly.
Under those conditions.
Sean put me on. Actually, Hammer put me on. Sean sent me film on Newton, and I was like, this is almost kind of like the Jalen Carter situation. You cannot pass on this man if he is there.
Yeah, you put him between Max and Kuntz and right next to Tyree Wilson on the interior, because I believe that's where that man should be. Damn near full time.
Me and Kane Town been screaming that since the beginning of the season. Put Tyree Wilson in the inside.
Yeah, and then you get those two, and then you bring back potentially John Jenkins, or you double up and you go get Tavondre Sweat in the second or third and stick him in the middle on running downs. I think you got a top 5 defensive line in the NFL.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. But we got to address that O line. I think that's kind of where it starts. We can have a really dominant front four if we do it right. If under those conditions, like you said, we do get a Fields or whoever in free agency, and we stick at 13, and Newton's there. Now we got something special in that front line, something really special.
Yep. And I think to address the offensive line, it is a heavy offensive line free agency class. You can fill all your needs in free agency, and I don't know if you guys are in the majority of moving Parham permanently to center, but I am.
Please.
And
I'll consider it.
I think you go out and you get 2 new guards and maybe draft one from free agency. I believe in Thayer Mumford at right tackle still. Mm-hmm. I think you can still bring back Jermaine Illuminor on a cheap deal, and I believe he would come for a cheap deal. And I think you could shore up the offensive line relatively easily by the time free agency is over.
As long as Andre James is not on that line, I'm cool with it.
Are you completely over Andre James?
I'm bro. I'm tired of seeing him get dominated by nose tackles and defensive tackles left and right every single week. I'm like, this man should not be on the field. Yeah. I'm like, AP, do it to him what you did to Marcus Peters, please.
I like Andre James, but yeah, it is. It's high time we stop seeing him get bull rushed into dust.
Yeah,
right into the quarterback. I'll say this: not having a mobile quarterback hurt him because it didn't help that AOC was just standing back there. But the way he was just getting ragdolled, I'm like, it don't matter what quarterback you got back there. I don't like seeing that when you're getting ragdolled.
Facts.
Yeah.
Bobby Washington. I know Harbaugh is good money, but it's hard for me to let AP walk, seeing all that potential. I think that's where most of us are at. I think it's not so much of a no, we don't want Harbaugh. It's
exactly.
We love AP already, and he's earned the shot.
That Chiefs wins was going to solidify. I said go beat the Chiefs, and then we can reconsider if you should come back. And he did it, and I'm like, we did something we haven't done in a long time.
Yeah. I had 2 check marks for him when he was named interim. Win 8 games and beat the Chiefs once, and he did exactly that, no more, no less. So, hey, I'm gonna stick by my word. He definitely deserves. This head coaching gig.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So I think as a whole, we're decided. I think that's where we're going. That's where we should go. We're gonna be entertained here the next few days, waiting for the GM to be announced and what we're doing there. Hopefully, we get the dream scenario, and both of those guys come in and are a part of our front office. As far as the draft, we covered our quarterback. Where we think we should go at quarterback. And we kind of touched on some of the defense. Do you guys have any other input on the current state of the Raiders? Any last words? Anything?
Need one more corner. That's another. And I believe we could find that in the draft. And the corner room is deep, or the corner draft is really deep in this year. And again, we need to continue going young. Like, that was one thing last season I picked up on, the youth that this team was starting to become.
Anybody
As of right now, no. I'm doing my homework on the corner room right now. I've been dissecting the quarterback room, the offensive line room. My brain is fried, but that's the route I want to go, is the draft, not necessarily the free agency. I want to go to the draft. So I'm going to go look at some guys in the draft that we should get and possibly come out with my top 5 pretty soon.
Okay. I know Alabama has a couple top 5 corners in this draft. You got Kool-Aid McKinstry with the greatest name in the history of football, and you got Terrion Arnold. Yeah, you got Terrion Arnold on the other side, and either one of them I'd be happy with. And then you got the one from, I believe, Clemson, Nate Wiggins, who's also a dog. There is a good set of
first round. They're first round projected.
I know he's the favorite to go first, I think, between him and Kool-Aid.
Yeah, and you guys got guys like Cooper DeJean, who's hanging out there. Has looked really good, but is probably going to fall in the draft simply because he's a white guy. Nobody wants a white corner.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I mean, even me. So
you're like, oh, this man's about to get burnt.
Well, this guy don't have no ankles.
Yeah, hate to say it, man, but that's how it is. But
who knows? Maybe
there's a guy that I am looking at, and it's a later round pick, and it's almost in the same realm of an Amik Robertson. You know how we got Amik in the 4th round a few years ago, and same school, late round pick. Could be a kind of one of those hidden gems. Willie Roberts out of Louisiana Tech.
Ooh,
that's somebody that 6th round projection. I've been doing some mock drafts. He's been popping up a lot in my later rounds. And I'm like, okay, do some research. His PFF grades are they pop, right? And PFF, you kind of take it with a grain of salt, but this guy, just look at his stats. Look, Willie Roberts, look at his stats throughout college. He has 3 years where he was pretty dominant. So
and not
that's what I'll consider.
Same places of me.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So I can see us kind of repeating history with that.
Okay. Stoic Raider says Terrion Arnold. I've actually had conversations with him off camera too. That's his guy at corner. There is some options in free agency though. YouTube is bringing that up. Jalen Johnson, L'Jarius Sneed, both solid. You saw L'Jarius Sneed just do Tyreek Hill super dirty on one down.
That dude's physical. Yeah, I like him.
Jalen Johnson's been a phenom in Chicago. It looks like he's looking for his way out. It looks like they're going to grant him his way out. Who would you rather have out of those two? I'm going with L'Jarius Sneed.
I agree. Sneed.
I would say he's lucky to be on KC because that boy holds like a mother after though. I'm gonna be honest.
That is a good point.
Not working wearing silver and black.
Yeah, and I'm like, come rep the silver and black, bro. We're gonna see penalty after penalty after penalty. But no, I do like the physicality. And all jokes aside, I love the physicality L'Jarius Sneed brings. If you could get a L'Jarius Sneed, man, pairing that up with Jack Jones and Nate Hobbs, you literally got the no-fly zone with the Raiders defense because you got 3 corners that all 3 love to be physical, and they're not going to let these receivers bump them and try to get away. Like, they're going to be very, very sticky. But if Champ is here, I wouldn't be shocked if we are aggressive with Jalen Johnson because of the ties Champ Kelly has with Chicago. So I wouldn't be against either or, but I'm going with the L'Jarius Sneed.
All right, and Stoke Raider is not going for the Cooper DeJean disrespect.
Hey, I mean, he can enjoy the elite company of white corners like, Jason Sehorn and Jason Sehorn and Jason Sehorn. So that's a possibility. Maybe he could be the second guy on that white Mount Rushmore of corners, man. You never know. You never know.
Severe is just
all jokes, man. All jokes.
Cooper DeJean does not have history on his side. No, he does not.
Or genetics.
He's gonna have to be a one of one to succeed here.
Hey, all jokes, man. If he's the guy in the combine and his stock rises and he's right there, we got to go for him, man.
I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad. I'd be worried, but I wouldn't be mad.
Yeah, a little bit worried.
John Johnson, like Tommy Eichenberg from Ohio State. I've seen a little bit of him. He's nice.
Yeah. I like him. Any, you go linebacker from these Midwest schools, man. You can't go wrong.
Lane and Diablo. Oh my goodness! First time I seen Eichenberg, I was like, bro, this dude is fast off the like to get into the backfield, stopping the run. But I said when it comes to linebackers, can they cover? And Eichenberg's one of those that he won't let Travis Kelce punch him in the mouth.
Let's hope not.
Yeah. Man, well, since Taylor, bro, Travis ain't been doing no punching lately.
Yeah, you're right.
Hit stick stepper likes Kalen King from Penn.
Okay.
I watched a little bit of him, and he looks nice. He's sort of physical corner, can make some tackles in open field. And from what I've seen, I don't see him getting burnt a ton.
That's true.
I wouldn't mind him either. Stoic Raider says Iowa has the white corner market set. Moss last year, DeJean this year. How did I didn't see much from Riley Moss this year. How did he do?
I thought he was injured most of the season, wasn't he?
Was he? Okay.
I could be wrong, but I didn't hear much from him.
That's why I didn't see anything. He went to Denver, right?
I believe. Yep. It was Denver.
What do you guys ultimately think Mark will do? We kind of touched on all that. I think we are all pretty comfortable in the fact that he's going to go Antonio Pierce. And then it's a toss-up between Champ Kelly and Ed Dodds, probably leaning a little bit towards Champ Kelly. We would all love to see both of them brought in. Maybe one of them as a head of football operations guy, the other one as the full-time general manager, and kind of see them collaborate. I think that'd be ideal. While maybe not the most likely scenario, that would be wonderful.
Yeah. Van City, man, you took it to another level.
Well,
Van City, chill.
That's another guy that Sean brought up. That's another guy.
Yes, I did mention T'Vondre Sweat earlier when talking about Jerzon Newton. I just briefly mentioned him when I was talking about maybe we double dip at D tackle. You go and get the guy who can get to the quarterback, and then you can go and get Sweat, who can kind of get to the quarterback, but he can absolutely just be a killer in the run game. I like Sweat a lot.
He's plugging two gaps.
Yeah, you get him
368.
Him and John Jenkins. Nobody's doing anything between the numbers.
At all.
Thick wall, bro, in the interior.
And two school wrestlers down in your line.
Man, I love it.
Sweat's running mate Byron Murphy, the second, is a beast too. I seen a little bit of him too. Yeah. He's another guy who can, if we don't end up getting a Jerzon Newton early, that's another guy to look at in the later rounds. Not too later. He's probably another second, third round guy.
Mid round guy. Probably.
Yeah. Severe. I don't know where he's ranked, but Muhammad out of UW always popped on tape when I seen him. I've seen him a couple times as well. Yeah, it's another deep interior line class. There's a lot of chances for us to get it right. So if we get it wrong,
for real, bro.
The quarterback.
The more I look at this draft, I'm like, Raiders, you guys cannot Raider this draft.
You can't screw this one up, man. Come on.
Gotta try to fuck this one. Like,
for real.
You can't get a quarterback and a D tackle in this draft, or even a corner too. I mean, you're really doing something wrong, and hopefully by the time that comes, we got the guys who won't get that wrong.
Right. Yeah. Facts.
Let's see. So Muhammad is a corner. Who's the guy? Who's the interior lineman that he has a long name like that for UW? Who is that?
I'm not sure, but he said he's transferring to Oregon, so he's got one more year. He's probably going to up his draft stock.
Okay. So, but I want to know who that, because there's a D lineman with a long name like that from UW that I've seen that kind of popped on tape to me. I guess we'll see it when if Stoic Raider can get me that info because I am confused now.
Yep.
Offensive guard. Cooper
That's the
Beebe.
guy right there, Cooper Beebe.
You like him?
Yep.
Cooper Beebe from Kansas State, man. I picked him. He's I had him in round 5. He's gonna move up in this draft. He's gonna be a 3rd round, maybe even 2nd round guy, man.
He's saying it's an edge. ZTF. I'm thinking, is it kind of like a Samoan name?
I think so. I think that's what he's saying. ZTF.
Yeah,
Fatanu, that's a tackle. He's a left tackle. Right.
No, he's an offensive lineman.
Yeah, he's an offensive lineman. Troy Fatanu.
Who is it? There's an edge or an interior lineman that.
There you go. That's the name.
Okay. I just knew UW. A long name. That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Gus. I don't know how to say that, but his name is Tuli.
Let's go for Tui.
Tupuola Fatui.
Yeah,
something like that.
We got any closing messages here? Anything we didn't cover or touch on?
Josh Jacobs, he wants to stay a Raider if AP is sticking around.
Islamophobia.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, severe.
Bro, this dude's on one today. You're on fire, bro. But would you guys stick with Josh Jacobs if AP comes back? Because he said, and what kind of money are you giving him if he does stick around?
I never thought I'd say this. God, I never thought I'd say this, but stick with Zeus, man, and let Josh hit the market. If Josh
give me my glory, Kane Town.
Josh
and severe too.
A 1-2 punch for $7 million a year. That more power to him, and I'd bring him back for that. Yeah, but I'm more interested in seeing what Zeus can do. Go and get him a 3rd down back or a good receiving back. I'm over Abdullah. I think he's fine, but he's getting up there in age, and I would love to. There's a lot of running backs. Another deep running back draft too, guys. You go with a Bucky Irving. Travion Henderson's going back to school, but he was in there. Jonathan Brooks coming out. He was hurt most of the year, but he's a top end back. Braylon Allen. There's a lot of good running backs, man. I
like Ray Davis out of Kentucky.
Yeah. Stoic Raider likes Audric Estemi.
Big dog. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So if there's a lot of options to go and put together a low salary 1-2 punch with Zeus. And I would do that. I'm not giving Jacobs a hair over $8 million at this point. He had a shit year after what he did last year, and he held out, and it ultimately probably affected his performance this year. And he bet on himself and he lost, unfortunately. He's not worth anything over $8 million at this point, especially with the way the market falls out. I'm moving on from Josh unless he wants to take a baby chickens deal, cheap. Where do you guys?
That's where I'm at. You guys know how I felt about Josh Jacobs before the season, and I said give Zeus a shot. Give maybe a running back by committee will work. And yeah, Severe, I'm gonna give it to him. I'm gonna give him that elbow. And that's all love to my brother Kane Town because I love debating. It was a great debate at the beginning of the season about.
You watched Zeus last year, man. This dude couldn't find a hole.
It was worrisome, but like I said, AP brings out the best, I guess, in people. But I would go with Zeus. But if you could bring Jacobs back, maybe I wouldn't even mind giving him $10 million. But because you earned $12 million and you didn't earn that $12 million, so I'm taking away $2 million. But I do like going more younger. Jacobs is 24. He's still young. Not saying he's getting up there in age, but if the money's not looking right, he want to go get paid.
Not miles on him though.
Go into the draft because this running back draft, Sean's been sending me running back after running back. I'm like, bye, Josh. I'm not really looking at you twice.
Yeah. I still believe he's probably a top 10 back in this league talent wise, but he's not playing like it. The last thing I thought I would see from him is a lack of effort, and at times I feel like I saw that this year. I don't see a need to bring him back at all. He's not going to come for the deal that I'm talking about. I know that. You saw that last year. There's somebody that's going to overpay for him. Someone's going to give him 10, and that's where he's going to go. What landing spots would you guys see for Josh if not with us?
Contender. A
Philly?
contender. I can see Philly.
I can't even think of a contender because I can't even.
Baltimore.
Really, Baltimore.
No, Baltimore is the favorite. Yeah, now that I'm thinking about Baltimore,
That'd be a nasty spot for him to go. Good luck stopping that rushing attack.
Yeah, Baltimore would be the place to go. But I think it was also just the narrative because people were blaming the offensive line on Josh Jacobs' poor performance, and then Zeus goes in there and kills it in back-to-back weeks, like just catching fire. And it's like, okay, what was JJ's excuse? Because this is the same line.
And where would you guys go for another back? For a number 2 back? Would you go for a pounder on the goal line, a big boy, or would you guys go for what I'm saying, a receiving back, a quickster out of the backfield in the flat?
You almost kind of need that.
Yeah.
You kind of need that in today's football, right? You need that dual threat who can go out of the backfield, catch some passes. And Zeus hasn't really shown that yet. But at the same time, I like the idea of having a thunder and lightning. So you get a guy like, the guy from Notre Dame, Esteem or whatever his name is. Like he's quick though too, but he's like almost 230 pounds. So he could be like a thunder and lightning with Zeus in the backfield as well. So I kind of like both of them.
Yeah, Stoic Raider likes Deontay Foreman. I like Deontay Foreman against us this year.
Yeah, for real. I like the Deontay Foreman that played against us.
That was it. Man, I probably would have shivved Josh McDaniels in the kidney after that game if I seen him.
Yeah, right. Man,
I'm surprised he wasn't fired after that game.
Estimate.
Okay.
All right.
There you go.
I'm going to pronounce that wrong just to piss him off from now on.
That's the guy it sounds like, man. I mean, I get it.
Let's see. I think you can get away with 8 with no taxes in Nevada. Because I don't think we're the ones that need to try to get away with getting Josh. I think Josh needs to make his case to come back. If he really wants to be a Raider next year, he's got to make his case to come back. He's got to come down. He's got to plead his case with the Raiders, not the other way around like last year. Like I say, he bet on himself. He lost.
And I think Kane is right. I don't think he's going to be – the Raiders are going to give him what he wants, like that 10 million, 9, 8 million range. Like they're not. They seem they had better. He, like you said, Kane, he betted on himself, and he not only lost, he potentially lost his job because Zeus went out there and killed it the final 4 or 5 games that he missed out. Salute to my primo Raider Nate. He said if JJ didn't play any of these games, considering where the Raiders were at and they were still in playoff contention up until that Colts game, and he still didn't play, like he wouldn't be upset if JJ walks.
Hitstick Stepper says Derrick Henry is a free agent. He's still a problem. I would love to bring in Derrick Henry, but again, that's another guy who's going to demand 10 to 12 million a year at least.
For no reason.
Derrick Henry is still proving that he is that guy. So there's no way I'm not paying that for a running back. My perfect match with Zeus would be a guy who had a little bit of a struggle this year, but I believe can still get it done, and he's a jack of all trades. I'd bring in Austin Eckler. And maybe you can get an Austin Eckler for $8 million.
I mean, he's another injury guy too, though.
But if he gets injured, he's just your number 2. He's just your other guy. He's your split guy you're splitting with. He's not your
when he's on, he's on. So I'll give you that. Absolutely.
But if you cut down his touches and he's splitting with somebody instead of, what is he getting? 10 passing targets a game minimum and 10 carries a game minimum?
There's times he's leading the Chargers in receptions.
Yeah, on the low end, he's getting 20 touches a game. On the very low end. On the high end, you're looking at 40 touches.
Yeah. Kelly wasn't a good backup to him rotation-wise. Eckler's kind of like a Josh Jacobs that if he could get the carry split, Eckler, when he's on, like Big Mike said, when he's on, he's on.
Especially receiving out of the backfield, man. I don't know if they're maybe outside of McCaffrey is about maybe the only better receiving back in the league.
I agree.
I agree. Eckler will take a 2-yard screen, 80 yards.
Yeah.
And I think he's right at the right spot to where he should be splitting with somebody and he gonna split with a young guy who can take the majority of the beating and just focus on getting Eckler out in space on the flat. And I think that could be a perfect scenario.
Yeah.
And like Stoker, I like Zach Moss too. But again, that's another guy who's injured.
Yeah, that's another one.
If he came in and split carries, I wouldn't be mad at it.
Yeah.
The scenario we warned could happen to JJ at the beginning of the season if he held out happened at the end of the season when he was hurt. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's true.
And me and Severe were like, we were hoping it didn't happen. Like, but it happened. And that was my worst fear because I was like, if he gets injured, I was like, who's to say Zeus doesn't pop off when he's injured? And
but it's almost like we were waiting for Josh Jacobs to kind of come back to where he was last year. We were waiting all season for that. And we were all kind of cautious.
There was moments where it seemed like it was coming, and then it just never did. He went right back to, three. He averaged 3.5 yards a carry. It's pedestrian at best.
Yeah, I just noticed that he wasn't hitting the holes as he was last year. It's like he kept dancing in the backfield when he didn't need to. And people were like, well, he's getting hit in the backfield. I'm like, he's getting hit because he's trying to, I don't know what he's trying to do. Yeah, like, I don't know.
The problem is he needs to add a 2 to that 8, man. It didn't look right at 8, bro. Like JJ8 didn't look right to me, bro. Like
I was like, hey, these jersey changes, bro. Can we change Aiden O'Connell from 4 to 18? Change Josh Jacobs from 8 to 28? Like, swap.
Yeah, if there's one thing you have to be as a running back in the NFL is decisive. You cannot second guess anything. So you second guess it and you're done. You're caught. These defensive linemen are too fast, too explosive. You're not getting past them if you're indecisive. And it's like him and Zeus switched mindsets because Zeus became the decisive one who was hitting the hole immediately. And Josh was the one doing what Zeus did last year and hitting the pile, missing the hole. And do we attribute that to missing camp? Or are we attributing that to also the effort that he put out? I think it's a mix of both.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I think
Severe. The Raiders have been playing tantric football with us all season for the last 5 years. Bro, like, let's just be honest, man. They've been teasing us about the playoffs and being close to getting over that hump, but we can't get there, man. Like, Severe, it's been the Raiders doing that to us in general.
Yeah. Absolutely. Let's see. Hit Stick Stepper also wanted to call out Donovan Evers, the running back from Michigan. I've seen him. He is nice.
Yeah.
Is he coming out? Is he declaring?
I don't know, but I know there's another Michigan running back, Blake Corum.
I like Corum a lot. I've heard a lot of people that don't like Corum much because of his height, but the dude's still 210 pounds.
Bro, he had 25 touchdowns last season.
Yeah.
In comparison, he's a Josh Jacobs. He's a mini Josh Jacobs. Like,
he's a little more explosive though.
Yeah, a little more explosive, but he's 5'8", 5'9", 215.
Around there, yeah.
And Josh Jacobs 5'10", 220. It's about the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he kind of reminds me about the size of LaDainian Tomlinson. And any comparison to LaDainian Tomlinson, I'm not mad at.
It was funny. The first time I seen like film on Corum, I was like, this is a mini Josh Jacobs, but that more explosive Josh Jacobs, that if he's in the open field, Corum will outrun you.
Yeah. Stone Grader says Edwards hasn't declared yet. Also, this is of anybody that I've ever met as a football fan, Stoke Grader is also the go-to for draft. I
love it.
Oh, awesome.
Half of anything that I have knowledge-wise on the draft is just from conversations with this guy. So,
hey, Stoke, we're about to get it busy. Mock drafts galore, man. Come join us.
He's missing by not having a show. He's not the podcast guy. I've been on him about being on my show for a long time, but
man, you're welcome on mine as well if you want to, bro. Man, bro, you don't need to be on camera. We just need to hear your voice, man. We need to hear the knowledge, man. So if you want to come through,
those tapes, man,
you're invited.
So I'm gonna get him. He don't know it yet, but he's gonna be on the show.
Yes, sir. That's what I needed to hear, man.
I'll show up at his house and live stream him if I have to.
There you go. Start recording conversations in your pocket and shit. Like
he's from my town, so I know where he lives. I go to his house for the draft. I will live stream him if I need to. I will violate this man.
Man, nice.
See, I don't know it, sir.
Oh,
You're not right. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, wow, 14-0 Green Bay.
Well, now you know.
Dallas in their seasonal choke.
Let's go.
Oh,
Green Bay.
yeah. Okay.
Jordan Love.
Hey, I really don't care, but yeah, that's you know.
I like Edwards-Helaire too. I wouldn't mind bringing in Edwards-Helaire at all.
That's a good one.
I wanted people. I was gonna say I wanted people to realize, like, when it comes to a Super Bowl winning team, the running
Just a piece of paper. Just a piece of paper. A piece of paper.
But yeah, like with running backs, bro, I'm gonna get me a restraint just with that face, hey, bro.
Yo, hey, bro, that shit look crazy,
bro. I was like, bro,
sorry,
bro, you're bringing. Hey, RP to Bray
back
Wyatt, bro. Hey, Stoic Raiders bringing out Bray Wyatt, bro.
for real. He's got the rocking chair.
Run.
For real. No, but like my with running backs, if you look at the past Super Bowl teams, they didn't pay like they're paying the running backs like Isaiah Pacheco's getting what $750,000 from the Chiefs, being a mid-round pick. Running backs are expendable. We said it last season with Josh Jacobs. I know a lot of people fell in love with him. I loved him. But running backs are expendable. That's the league that they're in. And it's sad to say, because do they deserve the money? Some of them do, some of them don't. But the Raiders can win with the running back by committee. And I feel like anyone can do it. Just build that offensive line, get yourself a true great elite quarterback, and you can just roll with what you have at the running back position.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm excited to see what we go do about the running back position. I definitely think that there's a lot better options than bringing back Josh. We loved him while he was here, but he's had his time. The game's not the same no more. You don't see running backs staying on teams for 12, 13 years. It just is such a rarity. Even Derrick Henry, who I never thought I'd see in another uniform, but the Titans uniform, is on his way out. So
yeah,
it's just the era we're in. And guys move on.
And also Renfro too. I think
probably gonna be out too. Yeah,
another guy that we've seen last in a Raider uniform. I personally think Renfro should retire because the hits that he took, because the hits that he took, those hits were, they knocked him up. He took.
Latavius Murray still plays, and I've seen that man get slept multiple times.
But Latavius Murray is a fucking brick house.
I would say this: if he goes to another team and he pops off, that's more. But it's like if he goes to another team and it doesn't work out, might need to, contemplate retirement. Yeah. But hopefully Renfro does find, business somewhere else and it works out for him.
Yeah. Van City says they're about to pay Dak $60 million. The best thing Ziegler did was get rid of that other quarterback that was with the Raiders. Yeah. Yeah.
Respect.
Probably right. I think they're doing the right thing giving Dak his money. I think Dak played his ass off this year. He beat Philly. He won the division. He did it with a lesser receiving core than he's had in the past, and he did it with almost no help from the run game. I was impressed with Dak this year. I think he's in the MVP conversation. It's probably going to Lamar, but I think he's in the conversation for sure. Yeah. I think Dak deserves everything that's coming to him. And I think they need to get him a running game and continue to keep that defense around him. And you might see Dallas pull one off. You never know.
I hope I don't.
I don't want to see Dallas win it either.
Yeah.
People fail to realize a lot of the time that one team wins the Super Bowl every year. One team. And when your chances are 1 in 32, you got to really put it together perfectly for a whole season to get in the right spot, and then really put it together in the playoffs to move through and ultimately win a Super Bowl. It's one team that gets to do it, and 31 other teams are left with nothing. So, yeah. So I think we're gonna wrap things up here, guys. Good show. Appreciated having you guys here for the official return of the Kangtown Breakdown. Finally, I brought it. I got back out here. You're gonna catch us again on the Swaggering Boisterously podcast. You guys go ahead and shout out where you can find you guys if anybody here doesn't know.
Raider Ed, representing Raiders Primos. Me and my primo Nate, we do live shows talking about anything Raiders, reports, Raiders rumors. This all season, we are going to be breaking down a lot of things in regards to the GM, head coach, draft, free agency. So go like and subscribe on YouTube. You can also find us on Instagram, X, at Raiders Primos for all your updates, all Las Vegas Raiders news.
All right. And Large Michael.
Well, you can find me, at your local barbecue spot with, getting some brisket, getting some tri-tip, getting some hot links, all that good stuff. But besides that, you can find me at Big Mike Raider. If you just do the search, Big Mike Raider is the first thing that pops up. Most of you guys that were here are on my show too, so I appreciate the support ahead of time. And we're going to get the swagger and boisterously thing going. I know that tomorrow evening you were talking about? Yeah, so we're going to have Tuesday. So yeah, it's going to be me, Cane Town, Ed, bro. If you want to come through, you're more than welcome. And we're going to have Severe in the building as well. So,
I'll definitely let you know. I'll be there.
Yep. All right. With that, it's been a show. Thank you to everybody who showed up. Please hit that like button, subscribe, follow me at everything Cane Town Raider. You all have a blessed rest of your weekend, and we will see you soon.